A vision of loveliness. Who are you and what do you do?
I'm Shannon Flynn and I play Princess Jill.
It's Dave Benson Phillips' Panto vlog.
Oh, no it isn't!
Oh, yes it is. As an audience come in for yet another show, these are the school shows that I'm doing today. So we've done one already at 10 o'clock this morning, and this is the 1 o'clock show, so you can hear the audience coming in right now. It's an interesting thing after years of doing lots of pantos and playing the parts which generally interact with the audience and is full of comedy that I can do and the people can enjoy and laugh at, and all the years of laughter that I've been used to. It's actually quite an interesting thing when you get to do a part as a pantomime villain. You know, you kind of take it for granted there's always going to be somebody who's going to be the pantomime villain, but as a performer like me, it's never me to do it. It's often somebody else. Normally it's an actor or somebody who knows how to deliver lines, because let's face it, being a panto villain, you have to have a certain amount of plot that you have to carry. In fact, a lot of the principals do it. I'm just going to turn this out of the way so they are. Alright, so here we go. What do I mean by that? It's like the parts that I normally do, although there are lines that I have to say to get the actors in and out of their lines as well. There's a certain amount of freedom that I have and a certain amount of space where I can ad-lib. Whereas with a pantomime villain, they have to stick to the script. They have to be one of the plot carriers, as it were. That's what we normally call them. And it's an interesting thing because I can feel things within me as a performer where I want to say something that would fit the situation, but I know I do it at the expense of the rest of the cast who have to keep to their lines. So there's a part of me that has to let that thing go, and I have to be as much an actor as I can possibly muster, which is a very difficult thing for me to do, because more often than not I normally go out there and say, hi, how you doing, what's going on, yeah, I'm all happy and everything else. So to go out there and my opening line is, hello you horrible children, I'm looking forward to meeting you, and I know the giant is looking forward to eating you, and then to have people boo after that, it's all very different from what I'm used to. And it's interesting. Mind you, the times where I have used certain lines for certain new situations, the ad-libs that I have done have been met with some laughter, some slight outrage. This is from the audience, but incredibly a lot of booing. That's the one thing as a panto villain, or as one thing that I'm a person who's never been a panto villain before, that I'm not used to, is the amount of booing and the fact that I have to welcome the booing. So, you know, it's completely against my nature, but it is interesting. There's a part in the show as well where the cast get to run out among the audience, and I'm very aware that as I run past the children, if I stop and I make a roaring noise and throw my arms in the air and make a grimace of my face, that there are going to be a number of children in my line of vision who will completely lose whatever inhibitions they got, and they just scream or they cry or they run, and I am so not used to that. So it's an interesting thing being a pantomime villain. I'm liking it. I appreciate the fact that a pantomime always has to have an evil presence or a baddie, and that is what I have to be at this particular moment. And yeah, it's interesting. It's now given me a very yeah, it's given me a bit of respect, actually. I mean, I've always had respect for the people who do the baddies, because without them, it's just all goodies in a show, and that makes no sense for a panto. But it's a very interesting thing that you have to do. You have to deliver the right amount of menace. You have to get them on side to boo, and you have to almost welcome it. With the school audiences, it varies actually. Some schools, some children in school audiences, they're on it straight away. They will literally just boo you and just go boo boo boo, and they hate you, and they love doing it. Some schools, and you can tell the really strict ones, they're almost looking at their teachers because they need permission to boo, which is lovely. It means I get to go out there and say, yes, I'm flesh creep, yes you may boo me, but please don't. And then when I say yes you may boo me, they're off. So that happens as well. One of the things that I remember talking to an actor a long time ago who used to basically, his job was to be a Panto villain, and he would always say, when it comes to the finale and the walk down, a lot of the cast get pleasant rounds of applause and they cheer the heroes and they applaud the heroes. But if he, as a Panto villain, came down and he didn't get loud boos or seriously loud boos, then he didn't think he was doing his job. And I kind of understand that actually, because as I was coming downstairs on the first time that I'd ever done it, there were a few boos, and it was nice to hear, ish. But once I got the script in my head, and you've got to remember I have come to this show a little bit late, but once I got the lines in my head, there was one particular performance where I came out and I stood at the top of the stairs for the walk down, for the finale, coming down, la 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 la, and the next thing was the place where, boo, complete and utter, there was not a cheer in amongst it. I mean, it's sometimes you get, "Hey, Dave, how you doing?" But no, this one, the room really hated me, and I thought to myself then that as a baddie, I have done a good job. So I'm very pleased about that. I'm going to see now if I can do the rest of the performances for the rest of the run and the rest of the time that I'm here with this company, to see if I can sort of match that with each performance that I do. So I'll let you know how it goes. Also, whilst I'm here, because as well you know, my beloved followers, I was supposed to be doing another show, The Best Ever Christmas, which sadly was not to be due to circumstances beyond our control, but hopefully one day we'll get to do the show and you'll get to see it. But in the meantime, I'm with a lovely company of people, and throughout the run I'm going to be trying to introduce you to members of the company that have since adopted me into their fold, including one James Argent, otherwise known as Arge to his lovely fans on Towie, which by the way is spelt Towie. It's not actually Towie. It's actually, that's an acronym for The Only Way is Essex. And I thought Towie was actually a place in Wales, because I used to do a lot of work in Wales. And I thought, whereabouts in Wales is Towie? I don't know where Towie is. So I was quite shocked and also quite ignorant. And I'm kind of glad that I actually got that all sort of sorted out before I met Arge. He's very lovely. Most people call him Arge, and I'm being very posh and call him Arge. But he's very lovely, as is the rest of the cast. So that's today's musings about me being a villain. Hopefully I'll show you more stuff. Hopefully I'll show you some bits as well during the show. And hopefully I'll get to show you members of the cast. And it will be great. So thank you for watching. If you've liked what you've seen me do so far, just like it, support it and everything else. If you haven't liked what I've done, then please tell me, because let's face it, I could do with the critique. And well, that's it. I'm now rambling now, because I'm very pleased that, well, let's face it, I'm doing something, and that's great. So laters.